he considered taking his own life many times, and his eventual death marked the end of a history of suffering without respite. Several days after the city was bombed, this man made the journey to Hiroshima to buy a horse from the military. Exposed to the intense radiation, he died 10 years later. Many victims were still in their mother's wombs at the time. They are one more legacy of the Holocaust to make the suffering of the living even more unbearable. According to several statistics, the rate of prenatal deaths, miscarriages, stillbirths, and other such tragedies climbed to a record-breaking high, and the infants who did survive exhibited a high rate of hideous deformities and other handicaps. In America, a number of the radiation poisoning victims who took legal action against the government died while their trials were still in progress. This is the wedding ceremony of Kyoko Satomi, a prenatal bomb victim of Hiroshima. Through her own intense drive and determination, today she is the proud mother of 2 fine, healthy children.
The game of nuclear seesaw between superpowers America and Russia is now being played throughout the waters of the globe. U.S. nuclear subs carrying Polaris, Poseidon, and Subrock missiles are currently patrolling both the Indian and Pacific Oceans. These subs are said to have the ability to circle the globe in one sustained underwater voyage. The Soviets have responded to this challenge with a super nuclear submarine of their own, the Delta class.
Mr. Kawasaki is another hibakusha. He was not only in Nagasaki at the time of the bombing, but was later exposed to radiation in Hiroshima as well. Nonetheless, he miraculously managed to escape from injury. During the 10 years which followed, he was gainfully employed and enjoyed good health as usual. And then one day, he suddenly collapsed on the job. And since that time, he has been hospitalized many times in his constant battle with radiation poisoning. Mr. Kawasaki is now bedridden, his family's sole means of support coming from his wife's income. She is a day laborer, currently employed as a grounds custodian at a cemetery for foreigners. Even today, after an additional 25 years, all attempts have failed to exorcise the demonic after effects of the bomb. During the war, Nagasaki was the site of one of the prisoner of war camps of the Japanese Army. This camp contained members of flight crews shot down over Japan and prisoners captured in the South Pacific battle zones. The bomb claimed the lives of a number of these men as well.
The United States is currently exercising all possible haste in deploying its latest nuclear sub, the Trident, to the oceans of the world. The Trident boasts an arsenal of 24 missiles, each armed with 17 multiple nuclear warheads. The captain explains the strategic operation capabilities of the Trident, which can make sustained underwater voyages of up to 6,000 knots without taking on additional fuel or supplies. Next, he points out the recreational and exercise facilities provided to keep the men in top mental and physical condition.
First place, size.
This young sailor says that at first he couldn't believe the size of the Trident. He says he has no doubts about being able to live underwater for extended periods of time. He's proud to be a member of this crew, which was handpicked from among the best men in the Navy. Finally, he has nothing but praise for the living accommodations, and especially for the cooks, which he claims are the finest in the world.
Really superb in cooking our meals for us. And
in reaction to the escalating arms race, the nuclear protest movement has gathered new momentum in America and in Europe. President Reagan's statement calling for a strengthened NATO alliance nuclear strike force triggered an unprecedented torrent of protest from all quarters of Western Europe. In Holland, the charge was led by the chairman of the Soldiers' Labor Union. Concern was also expressed in Germany by NATO military leaders. Even in America, during Anti-Nuclear Weapons Week, a decisive 2/3 of the country's population was found to favor a freeze of nuclear weapons. In Japan, the swell of anti-nuclear feelings has risen to new heights, attracting increased support on the popular level as well. People from all walks of life, writers, musicians, religious leaders, and professionals have joined the ranks of those issuing statements condemning the production and use of nuclear weapons.
Close of 1945. Many hibakusha were called on to appear before the Strategic Bombing Survey Committee. They were required to expose their wounds and sickness-ravished bodies for the cameras of the American researchers. As if the bombing alone wasn't enough, now they were being subjected to the additional humiliation of such an experience. However, they derived some consolation from the thought that